attention.
And with that, the Lucknow Super Giants have been eliminated from this season's IPL. You're watching Voltas presents Cricbuzz Live. My name is Manish. I've got two men who waited forever and ever for this game to finish. It just seemed to drag on and on and on and on, but this is how this game finished. 2-0-5 on the board for the Lucknow Super Giants because Mitchell Marsh and Aiden Markram were having a bit of a party in the first, and thereafter they seemed to lose their way a little bit, but Nicholas Pooran ensured they go past 200, and in reply, Hyderabad had Abhishek Sharma kicking things off really well, 120 in the first 10, and that's where I thought the game was done and dusted. Klaasen 47, Ishan Kishan 35 as well. So everyone got a bit of a hit, and Hyderabad notch up their fourth win, only their fourth win, and safe to say that they will not finish at number 10. Joy Bhattacharjya and Simon Doull will tell us what happened in the second innings. It was tough to pay attention because it just meandered along this chase.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Abhishek Sharma, I think that's what he did. You know, up front, he hit the ball so well that he put his team into a situation where they did not need to take risks.
Yeah.
So after that, you know, you couldn't be forgiven because Klaasen, all the batters were then playing safe.
Yeah.
They didn't have very long a batting order, so they just played long safely. So it looked as if, you know, the game was just wandering on and on.
Yeah.
And Lucknow tried hard, but they were just not getting enough wickets. They needed a couple more wickets early, and then maybe things could have changed, but it didn't happen.
I suspect the top story here is not so much Hyderabad winning, but LSG looking really poor. How can you make this look like such an easy chase? 205 are a lot of runs.
Yeah, we're getting to a new realm when we're saying that 2 overs and a bit to spare, and they meandered to a score of over 200, aren't we? We're sort of, and it felt like that.
Yeah.
But it's the way they started, and Abhishek was brilliant up front. It made sure that 120 after 10, it made sure they didn't have to take any undue risks later in the piece. They still scored relatively quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, Klaasen still scored at a strike rate of, 180.
Yeah.
So they still played, really comfortably. But that's the Hyderabad we expected to see for most of the season, rather than, just 4 wins only. It's not a side that on paper, I know a lot of guys had Hyderabad as one of their top 4 teams at the start of the season after last year, after keeping a majority of their players, looking like they were going to be a good side again. But it just shows you when they haven't been on their game, they've been found wanting, they've been, poor at times. But that was the real Hyderabad that showed up today. And for Lucknow, just that bowling attack again, in excess of 200. I don't think it was a decent wicket. I don't think it was a great pitch. There was enough hold there at times, but that sort of bowling attack just hasn't really been up to scratch, I don't think, for the most part this season, and that's been their major issue.
Joy, LSG last won a game exactly a month ago, on the 19th of April. 1 month without a single win. The air in that dressing room will be very heavy.
Yeah, and there's a big gap in between as well when the games were stopped. So I think that's the thing that, they got a couple of victories, some good ones. I mean, the one against, especially when they sneaked to win against Rajasthan,
2 runs.
Match they should have lost, but they managed to get through. And then you say that, okay, now this team is emerging. Yeah. I think a couple of things happened, which is that, yes, I mean, their formula was clear. Top order is going to be international top order, score a lot of runs. Indian bowlers get wickets. And that fell apart. I mean, they had a lot of bowlers at the start of the tournament. Mohsin Khan, Mayank Yadav, these guys were both looked on as, 2 guys who were going to be very important parts. Both of them were injured. Both of them didn't come to the party at all. Akashdeep didn't do very much. The biggest disappointment, though, for them is not that. It is Ravi Bishnoi.
Yeah.
Because Bishnoi was their go-to spinner. He's the guy who was supposed to control that middle order. And Bishnoi has just looked so out of touch, it's been very difficult.
He's been out-bowled, hasn't he, by Digvesh?
Digvesh has been the better bowler by far.
Out-bowled by Digvesh.
And Bishnoi has been one of those ICC-ranked players in this format. Now, look at this LSG journey. In the first 5 matches, they'd won 4. They'd lost just 1. And then suddenly, it seemed to go pear-shaped. The last win was on the 19th of April against RR, which they won by 2 runs. And thereafter, they've not just lost, but they've lost big. Lost by 8 wickets to DC, lost by 54 runs to MI, by 37 runs to Punjab, and by 6 wickets tonight. So clearly it's a case of a lot of things going wrong at the same time.
Well, the 3 overseas batters have all got an excess of 400 now.
Yes, Markram,
Markram, Marsh and Pooran.
Yes.
All in excess of 400 in the season. So you get 3 players over 400 and you still finish in the bottom half of the table. You've kind of got to look elsewhere. Okay, I know Rishabh Pant didn't have a great season with the bat. Their Indian batters have not come to the fore, but the overseas batters have done the job for them. So you kind of probably have to look at where the bowling was pretty good in those 4 wins early on. It just fell away, and as the reserves weren't there, what they were hoping for didn't come to fruition. I don't think Avich was as good at the back end of the season as he was at the start. And when you're relying quite heavily on Bishnoi and he hasn't come to the party, just different things have just not quite gone right for them.
Story of 2 halves, as I said, they won 4 of their first 5. And then, can you correlate these losses with Nicholas Pooran's form as well? Because the moment he lost form, the team seemed to sort of lose their way. In the first half, he was batting really well, Pooran.
Yeah, to a certain extent. But look, I still believe that batting was not their problem. I totally agree with him. I think bowling was the issue. They just didn't consistently get wickets. If you remember up front, the guy who was winning matches for them was Shardul Thakur. He won a couple of matches.
The first one.
Yeah, he won the first one. He bowled well in the second one as well. So up front, they seem to be getting wickets from somewhere.
Yeah.
What you've seen over this last 3-4 matches, and you will take a good look at it, they were unable to get wickets. They were just unable to wait. So 8-wicket losses means you're just not able to get wickets.
Yeah. Points table will tell you that that E has been added next to Lucknow's name, the 5th team to get eliminated. And that means that one spot up for grabs will be fought for by the Mumbai Indians and the Delhi Capitals. Lucknow at 7, there you are then. Mumbai have a point over Delhi. And that, in a sense, means that the MI-DC game is more of a knockout for DC. Because if MI win, DC can't catch up and they'll be out.
Yeah, and that's what it boils down to. And when you look at the two sides, and that's what I mentioned earlier, MI's sort of run in the sort of 3 weeks leading up to the short break, they just look like a absolutely outstanding side. Bumrah bowling beautifully. Bolt, I think he's 3rd, 4th on the wicket-taking list at the moment. Sky with in excess of 500 runs now. That middle order looking solid. Hardik doing the job when he had to. Tilak looking really good. They flip it and flop a little bit between whether they use jacks at the top, but he's bowled well for them at different times. Rickleton hasn't fired consistently, but he's done enough. Rowett getting runs. So they've got all the pieces of a very, very good side. They look to me the stronger side if I was looking at the two and the trajectory that the two sides are sort of on at the moment. So, you would think on paper, Mumbai would have the edge. Game's not played on paper, and Delhi have got, they've got the opportunity still.
SRH is proof of that. No matter how strong it looks on paper, you've still got to go out there and score runs and take wickets. No Will Jacks, I believe, for the Mumbai Indians. The replacement, I think, is Bairstow, who will come in. Will that affect them a lot?
Look, I think they're just going to get a really strong batter to come in who really understands the IPL and understands this tournament. So I think it's not going to hurt them at all. I think Mumbai is peaking at the right time. They had a really slow start. They're peaking at the right time. The interesting thing is that if Mumbai wins, Delhi is knocked out. But if Delhi wins, Mumbai is not necessarily knocked out. Because Delhi play against Punjab. If Delhi lose to Punjab and they win their last game, they still go through. So Mumbai, in that sense, will have less pressure on them. For Delhi, it's a must-win.
I think they'll miss Jax's bowling. I really do.
I
mean, you bring an out-and-out batter in. I just think I'm not sure he's bowled more than 20 overs in the tournament so far, but he's bowled overs with success. I think he had one bad over. One of the lefties got to him a bit in one game, but he's actually taken wickets for them. I think they'll miss his bowling a little bit.
Somebody who's an analyst told me that, I know you're very fond of analysts and the right-left matchups were,
Right-arm off-spinner, bowling over around the wicket at the Wankhede, gets 3 degrees more bounce.
No, but only if it's over 35 degrees temperature.
And the wind is not blowing off the ocean if it's coming.
It depends a bit on the tides as well.
And if he's had 3 pancakes for breakfast, not 2.
That's exactly, with banana.
Apparently, analysts offer a lot of such information these days. Well, that's where it is. We will, of course, talk more about MIDC when we come to that game on Wednesday. But between the two of you guys, MI pretty much going through?
I've got MI slightly ahead. It wouldn't surprise me with Delhi because I think they have got the tools, but I've got MI slightly ahead just by the look of the composition of their side.
I think Mumbai for me is the favourite by a very, very, very long margin, just because they're, something that Simon said at the start of the tournament, which is very true. They're the one team who actually don't need an impact player. The way they're designed, they don't need an impact player. They bat up to 8. At 8, without an impact player, they bowl 6 bowlers without an impact player. Yeah. They have all the tools because they have those all-rounders. Hardik gives them so much flexibility up there. Will Jack's bowling gives them flexibility. So they've got all their bases are covered. And as I said, Rohit was not firing. Rohit has started firing. That makes a huge difference up front to them. Because I think Rohit's in that sunset of his career, and there's a point to prove out here. I think he wants to go out well. He's not going to be in England. So I think, when you're not looking ahead, you're looking, this is my horizon, you tend to be a lot more focused as well.
And he now has a stand to aim at.
Yeah, I keep saying it's in the wrong place, but
he needs to.
It should be square leg.
Yeah.
On either side. I mean, deep mid wicket, okay, but they couldn't change what was already there.
Ravi's told him, smack one there, and said, yeah, I'll try. Quick confirmation of the qualification scenario for all your MI fans and DC fans. Sadly, LSG no more in the race. It was a 3-way race, not anymore. That's where it is. If Mumbai beat Delhi, they go through. If Mumbai lose to Delhi and beat Punjab, Mumbai will need Punjab to beat Delhi. Punjab also, meanwhile, need to win too because they're aiming at the top 2. Along with the RCB. Delhi will be eliminated, as I said, if they lose to Mumbai. If Delhi beat Mumbai and lose to Punjab, Delhi will need Punjab. Oh man, it's too confusing. For now, let's just keep it simple. If DC lose to MI go through, DC go out. One at a time. Now,
if MI win, it's over for DC. If DC win, it's still not over for MI. Yeah. Simple.
Got it right. What did Lucknow do wrong with the ball? Or do you want to talk about your favourite subject? By the way, on Voltas Presents Cricbuzz Live today, we've got someone who's a subject matter expert on Delhi boys and things Delhi boys do. What was happening between Digvesh Rathi and Abhishek Sharma?
Look, this was a very, very normal Delhi conversation. Normally, this conversation is held in the middle, in the middle of a road with your shirt slightly open, next to 2 big SUVs, 2 big, really big SUVs. And then one of the guys is supposed to turn around and said, and what Digvesh said was, oh, my friend, what did I say to you?
Oh, exactly.
To which the reply was, you have a wonderful hairstyle. I love that ponytail of yours. Perhaps I can hold on to it to come closer to you to explain my point of view. And this was the conversation. It was such a polite, nice, lovely conversation. And people misinterpret it.
Yeah, they misunderstand.
It's such a polite part of the world.
Add that to one more of Joy Bhattacharya's hair-raising tales on Cricbuzz Live. For you, as a very polite, pleasant Kiwi, this must be an alien kind of conversation. This doesn't happen in New Zealand.
Yeah, not at all. No, I love it. I love it. I don't like to see players going over the top too far, but I enjoy it. It's a competition, and you got 2 sides, one who has an outside opportunity, one whose season is done and dusted, but it's still competitive.
Yeah.
And I like that. Don't go overboard, don't go too far, but there's been some nice moments in the tournament so far, and I don't think that was a bad moment.
One of the mysteries of this year's IPL is, I want to know, what is Digvesh Rathi doing like this? Is he signing an apology? Is it a check for the IPL because he will have to pay a fine, which he has already twice? Or is he signing someone's death warrant? What is it?
Putting you in his notebook. Kesrick Williams.
The next wicket.
West Indian Kesrick Williams. He was the one that kicked things off in the CPL.
Paid a huge price because Virat Kohli responded later.
Correct. Yeah, correct. But he used to take his notebook out of his pocket and then sign him off as he walked off. That was how it all started.
Abhishek did lose his cool after getting out in that little altercation.
That's it was a polite conversation. It was a polite conversation.
That is precisely why Abhishek Sharma is our coolest performer of the match, powered by Voltas. Shore comes zyada. They had to find someone to, take off the innings, and this is exactly what they wanted. 59 of 20.
50 in boundaries.
6 sixes.
50 in boundaries of those 59. But that's, when you're chasing 200, you break the back of the chase in the power play.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did. He allowed the others to come in and just cruise along. And that's why for us, 2 overs and a bit to spare, and it felt like it was a bit of a yawn for the last 7, 8, 9 overs. 120 at the halfway stage. Yeah. Chase is done if you bat sensibly from there on in. And that's what his power allowed them to do. So, yeah, brilliant. Really, really good innings. Some great striking again. And just more of a showing of what, a reminder of why he is he's the incumbent, isn't he? Yep. And that Indian T20 side at the moment. And just more of a showing as to why he is that.
There is a bit of a crowd at the top of the order with the T20 World Cup scheduled to be played in India next year. There is Gill, there is Jaiswal, there is Sai Sudarshan, there is Abhishek Sharma.
Add to it, I think Priyansh Arya, Prabh Simran, they both of them have done
nice
quite a bit.
problems.
It's a great problem to have. But I was just looking at it because I wanted to check. I think the way he hit Bishnoi for those 4 sixes, that over was where the game was set.
Killed it.
He just killed, the breaking the back of the chase. You just go so far ahead, then the other team is just trying to play catch up. Yeah. And I think that's the one reason why Abhishek Sharma is so important to India's T20 plans. I know that Sudarshan and Gill and this thing play in a particular way, but what Abhishek Sharma can do is in 3-4 overs he can break the opposition down. And then the rest of the batters can just play safe percentage cricket and take you through.
And he's found just the perfect mentor in the great Yuvraj Singh. Every time he does well, rest assured UV will tweet, and he has tweeted today as well.
Again. Yeah, well, and it's not a bandwagon thing, is it? Because there was some conversations prior to Abhishek as well, and he's always admired him. So, look, he's such a clean striker, and I think that's one of the great things about him. It holds the bat really high. If you look at him, he holds the bat handle really high. There's quite a gap at the bottom under the gloves to the top of the bat. So he uses that sort of long handle, free-flowing bat swing pace, plays pace well, and really goes after the spinners. And it's sort of one of those situations tonight where I know he hasn't had his best season, Bishnoi, but you're looking at that side and you're thinking, who's the threat? Who is the threat? And I think Bishnoi was the threat. So to me, you take down, best on best. Yeah. I'm going to take you down. And what he did tonight was take down what he perceived was the biggest threat on the opposition. So I think that was why it was so good.
Abhishek has hit 100 against Zimbabwe, then a big 100 against England. I think it was the Wankhede. But is he still sort of work in progress in terms of his shot selection in white ball cricket? Is there an area of improvement while we are at it?
Look, there's always going to be refinement. I won't say improvement. I think he's already good enough to play for India. Anyone who's got two T20 centuries for you, international centuries for you, is good enough to play. Yes, his game will get more and more refined. Remember, he is that same batch for Prithvi Shaw, Shubman Gill. This is that same batch. That New Zealand, you were there.
Yeah, 2019.
2019. And that was a series. But he came in there, did well there, was picked up by Delhi, just didn't get a chance to play. And then Delhi trades him. Trades him, and then he finds a home in SRH, and then you've seen. So sometimes, he must have watched Gill, coming and doing it. All these other guys in that batch, Prithvi Shaw playing, Gill playing, and he's just waiting his turn. Yeah. But when it's come, he's really made it count.
How do you see his next 5 years in Indian cricket?
Well, if he keeps his head, and it's the hardest thing for any young player in India with all the adulation, all the money, all of the sponsorship offers, all of the, everything that comes with it. And we've seen some come and some go. And as long as he's got good people around him, I think that's a real key for any young player. And not just Indian players, young players around the world, but it is different here because of the pressure. And, it's cricketer's religion in some, way, shape or form in this country. Sure. And so if he's got good people around him and he keeps his head and just keeps churning out the runs. That's all he needs to do. He's got all the skills. Don't give up the bowling.
That's what I wanted to say.
Don't give up. Don't give up that. Keep working hard on that bowling side of things because it makes you even more undroppable, if I can find such a word. Yeah. It makes you so much more attractive as a cricketer if you can offer a few of those as well. So, don't give that away just because all of the other stuff is going so well.
Yep, absolutely. Give the selectors another reason to pick you. And stay cool, keep scoring the runs, and he shall continue to be in focus. He's one Sharma that will be watched very closely by Indian cricket fans over the next 10 years or more. He is truly our coolest performer of the match, powered by Voltas. Shore kam zyada. I've just been told all is well between Digvesh Rathi and Abhishek Sharma. Arm around the shoulder.
I told you it was a polite conversation.
It was.
You just have to believe us Delhi people.
They'll probably ride in the same SUV home.
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
The bigger one.
The bigger one.
The one with the exhaust slightly cut so you can really hear the sound.
Those big stickers, loud sirens.
Music going...
and all that. Maybe some Hardy Sandhu being played. Okay, we'll set that mood later. But here's what you guys and girls need to do. Pick up your phone and download the Cricbuzz 11 app. That's where there's a lot in store for you. 2.2 crore rupees is the total prize money. Remember, all of you can win, and those first-time users will get a free entry. So download the Cricbuzz 11 app right away. Now, two teams in action on Tuesday. It is the Yellows versus the Pinks in Delhi, in the capital city. Neutral venue for both of them. Chennai at 10. Rajasthan play their last game. Is it the battle of the two desperates, Simon?
The wooden spoon.
Yep.
Isn't it? You don't want to be holding on to that.
Yep.
Look, both sides have had poor seasons. They've had underwhelming seasons. Chennai very rarely have this type of season.
Yeah.
They will be feeling hurt. Rajasthan have been in a position to win, I'm thinking, 4 games chasing, at least. Four games chasing, and have blown them all.
All of them winnable.
All of them very winnable, and have been in really good positions to win 4 games and blowing them all.
Yeah.
So, they'll be hurting.
Yeah.
And no side wants to lose. No side wants to lose, and no side wants to finish last. So as much as we look at it and its insignificance from a table point of view, there'll be significance for both sides.
CSK has never finished bottom of the table. And so as much as it is looking like the end of an era, it could well be the start of a new one. You have seen players like Sheikh Rashid do well. Ayush Mhatre is there as well. Urvil Patel looked impressive in that cameo in that last game. So there are a few things that can go right for them.
Right, Kambodge has looked quite good.
Kambodge as well,
I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the thing. If you look at it, the 3 guys that they bought in that break.
Brevis,
Ayush Mhatre, Devil Brevis, and Urvil Patel. All of them have given them results. Kambodge has given them results. And I think whether they're playing under less pressure or not, I think this is the direction they need to move in. Because, see, I think the biggest problem that Chennai have had over the years, or to say it's a problem now, is their success. Because if you've been so successful all the time, why do you want to change the template? So you keep playing it, your template's getting a bit older, the game is changing a little bit more, but this template has worked for you. You won in 23 also, they were champions. So that template has lasted them a very long time. So to give it up, it took a real shake-up. And I think the shake-up has now happened. And I think they've got to shed it, they know, and they're now moving forward.
Let's talk about the absentees. Sam Curran, Jamie Overton, Rachin Ravindra and Nathan Ellis will not be a part of this game. All of them are not with the squad, as you can see, in the red. And the ones who are available will feature. Only 4 available.
Yeah, Brevis, Conway, Noor Ahmed and Patirana. So they've only got 4 overseas available. They will have to play. But yeah, look, it's still a side that you think that where they've struggled this year, and I think we've seen it all season, is the 6 hitting power inside the power play. They are so far behind all the other teams. And if you take the top 4 or 5 teams, they're like 20 to 36s
ahead of them.
Ahead of them in the power play. So they haven't had anyone inside that first 5-6 overs getting them off to flying starts. And, you go back to the championship side, and Ruturaj and Devon Conway had a brilliant season. And so, as Joy said, it's only 2 years ago. So I agree with what he said. You can't throw everything out the window all of a sudden after 1 bad season. Now, 2 seasons of sort of average, now is the time. But, they just need to with the new players coming in towards the top of the order. They've got some power.
Yeah.
There's a little bit to like about that. They'll go back to the drawing board a little bit after the season and just figure out what they need to do better.
And once Gaikwad comes in, there will be some solidity to the middle order as
Yeah.
well. Now, this game will be played in Delhi, where, remember, GT scored 200 plus, no loss. And therefore, purely on slightly better batting form, RR will fancy themselves against a slightly low on confidence Chennai. They will start favourites.
So if I am Chennai, I'll bat first. And I'll tell RR, why go for another chase, please.
Yeah.
I mean, twice they've had 9 in the last over. Twice 9 in the last over.
Yeah.
Once 18 in 12 balls. 18 in 12 balls, still losing.
Yeah.
And the fourth time, they are what? 98 in the power play. And still don't complete it. Still lose by 10 runs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. So that's the one thing. I think just put them into... If I'm Chennai, I want to keep putting them in that situation. Hey, you know what? You like chasing, why don't you go for it? You know?
The winner will be able to perhaps avoid the wooden spoon because this is RR's last game. They've won just one in the last 5. Any changes you'd recommend?
Oh, RR, can we have a look at the squad? What would I recommend for them? It's just been a tough season for them. I mean, what have they played? Deshpande, Mapaka was okay. I thought yesterday, Katkea, did they give him a run? I mean, they've left Rathore out because Sanju Samson came back. So there's not really much they can do unless they want to bring Kumar Katkea in and drop Madhwal, who was pretty average.
Can they bring in Luandre Pretorius
Oh,
in
there
for
he is. Sorry,
Hetmeyer?
I missed him down there. Maybe in for Hetmeyer, give him an opportunity, see what he's got about him, because he's a real powerful player.
Yep.
They loved him in the SA T20.
Top scorer.
Yeah, top scorer down there. So yeah, he's an option if they want to bring him in for Hetmeyer, just to see what he's got to offer. Then that's another thing they could do.
All right, before we go, players to watch out for.
For me, Chennai, I'd really like to see Jadeja going because I think he's vital to their future, and I think I want to see where they bat him because I think in this current setup, Jadeja needs to bat at 4 because they don't have too much. I mean, they need to give him more opportunities. He needs to take more responsibility. I'm not sure that he's the perfect player for that position, but right now with the current team that they have, he needs to take more responsibility. So Jadeja for me is important.
Okay.
And Delhi, he'll bowl well. The pitches, though it's a small ground, he bowls well in Delhi. So Jadeja for me from one side. On the other side, I'd like to see the captain, get into some form before it because he's one of the India's top white ball players.
Sure.
Sanju Samson's a class act. I'd want to see some runs from him.
I went lefties the other night. I'm going to go lefties again. I think one of the highlights for Chennai this season has been Khalil. I think at the top of the order, he's bowled really nicely, Khalil Ahmed. So I'll look at him and the matchup against Jaiswal.
Interesting.
At the top, against both the lefties. But if they're going to strike, they need to strike early, break that partnership, and it might be Khalil's job.
This will be Jaiswal's last shot at T20 cricket for now, for a while, because he will then switch straight away to red ball cricket as part of his preparations for that big England tour that's coming up. Now, joy factor. Tricky one today. A lot of people got it right. A lot of people got it wrong as well.
But you got it right.
I think I did.
Yep, let's take a look. In the Indian T20 League, the first was Andrew Simons in 2008, followed by Ravi Bopara and Prashant Parmeshwaran, which is actually the giveaway, who's the latest. And actually, Parthiv messaged, he had part of the answer right, which is bowlers who've given 30 and an over.
Yeah.
But the answer he had was Khalil Ahmed. But just 4 days later, in the Kolkata match, two guys went for 30 each, and the last was, I think, Vaibhav Arora. So I think that's the answer we're looking for.
Let's bring up the correct answer just for the record. And then we have the winner as well. Vaibhav Arora it is.
Conceded 30 runs. So big, as I said, bowlers conceding 30 runs is not common. So today we were looking at the answer. Is the overs when he was bowling. We had Bishnoi bowling.
4 sixes.
And yeah, 6s went after 6s. You're wondering.
Hello. Change the graphic.
Yeah, we need to change the graphic. Yeah.
Who's the winner? Let's bring up the winner's name so that... this guy's a regular.
Austin Dicona is a regular.
I love his handle.
Yeah.
What does he get? He's a regular.
Well done.
Just because his name has Bogle, who is a part of the Cricbuzz family, who will be right here in this very studio at 7 p.m. Mr. Harsha Bogle. What is up with the Guezzing game leaderboard? I got it right once.
Well done.
Yes, you did.
Thank you very much. Let's bring it up. I'm still on the right, I'm sure. It doesn't matter. I will take the win anyway.
Oh, I've dropped down, I've
borderline. Not bad at all.
Oh, that's awful.
I'm just still ahead of Harsha, but I will not be for very long.
I dropped from second to fourth.
Mr. Bogle takes his
Not
game
good.
really seriously.
We haven't made Karthik's head bigger yet. We need to just go.
Yeah, we need to do that.
We want it to just get a little bit bigger every day. They can do that. We can do it. Just we want it to just get a little bit bigger every day.
We need to have an offline conversation with the graphics team.
Yeah.
Maybe get them some kulfi and maybe they will do what
It needs to be done. We're just saying it needs to be done.
get it done. That's it. Done for the day. What time is it? Almost 12. Almost
Okay.
12. MI or DC? Think about it and think about what will happen to Simon Doull when he bumps into an analyst at the airport tomorrow morning. What is it, 9 a.m., 9:45?
9, I don't know.
You're going to Delhi, ne?
Yeah, I'm going to Delhi tomorrow.
Go meet one of my SUV driving friends out
Go meet
there.
one of your friends and
He'll translate the conversation.
Rajinder?
I'll get one of them to pick me up.
Sunny, I think it's Sunny, Lucky or Tony, but he can pick.
We will add that to Simon Doull's India Chronicles, but we're done for the day. We will see you once again at 7 p.m. tomorrow for CSK versus RR. Come back and join us to watch Voltas presents Cricbuzz Live. Mr. Bogle and Mr. Bamba will be here. Bye-bye.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ Hyderabad Express, Station, Netaji Bhavan.